I just wanted to talk about Yuki, talk about his impact. I mean, it's been a big week for him because obviously he's playing catch-up to a certain degree.
Yuki Tsunoda's rise is turning heads inside Red Bull. Check this video out to see why everyone's talking.
He is playing catch-up, but I mean, he's brought a real positive energy to the team. He's a real character, and of course, what you can't underestimate with him is his fifth year of experience now, and that is immediately evident in the feedback that he's providing. He's been quite a surprise in terms of the depth and quality of the feedback that he's providing. He's finding his feet. His pace has been improving and improving. I mean, Saudi was unlucky. I mean, the last couple of races he's been comfortably into Q3. If he'd have repeated his Q2 time in Q3, he would have been sixth on the grid. And a racing incident on the first lap was unlucky for him, but otherwise he would have had a competitive race. So he's finding his way. He's endearing himself to the staff and the team with his games of ping pong just before qualifying and the race, and his obsession with all types of food. He came and spoke to the factory the other day and was recommending restaurants in Milton Keynes for certain types of seafood, which was unexpected. But he's quick, and he's very, very determined, and he, I think, he'll deliver some good results for us, I'm sure, as the season progresses.
Do you wish you'd gone with him from the off?
Hindsight is a wonderful thing. I think had the car been easier, it would have been easier for Liam. At the beginning of the year, but I think we chose to make the decision very quickly, so to not procrastinate. And I think that the fact that Red Bull owns two Grand Prix teams gives us that unique opportunity. So it was a question of, okay, Liam, we still believe in you, but I think we need to give you more time to develop. We were asking too much too soon. And in Yuki, he has that experience. So allowing Liam to continue his career and development in what is a strong car at Racing Bulls, is better for him and obviously better for the team.
It's great to see experience paying off, but let's be honest, can positive energy really close the gap to the elite? Max Verstappen wasn't just bringing vibes in his fifth year, he was dominating races and redefining consistency. The bar is high, and unless you're chasing Verstappen-level feedback and results, you're still just playing catch-up.
Was there a moment when you realised it was sort of time up for Liam at the team? Was there a key moment, do you remember?
I think just seeing him, it was he'd had a very difficult Australian weekend, China. It seemed to be in a bit of a spiral, and you could see that it was becoming an awful lot for him, and everybody noticed that. And I think that it was a question of, right, okay, let's stop this before it becomes too much. And it's obviously a very difficult decision to make because you're taking away someone's dreams and hopes. But as I say, we've got that unique situation to say, look, this isn't the end of your Grand Prix career. We're going to switch you from between the two teams and to continue to develop and build your experience in Formula One.
Have you been impressed how he's responded? Because that could have been a real dent to the confidence.
Yeah, I think he's responded very maturely. He's finding his feet. He's got a tough teammate in Isaac Hadjar, who's doing a very impressive job. Was arguably perhaps the most impressive of the rookies, so far this year. But I think he's finding his feet and starting to find his form.
With family, are your kids all into Formula One, or are they not interested in what Dad does?
No, they get it. You know what? I have a soon-to-be 19-year-old that's at university. A daughter, and then my 11-year-old daughter is an enormous Charles Leclerc fan.
Oh wow! Was that just to wind you up?
Well, she's crushing on him. I mean, she even has her as her screensaver on her telephone. I mean, she loves our two drivers as well. But then my younger son, Monty, he's very much more into the the mechanical side. I mean, that he loves that side of things, but knows
He's a future engineer for the team, really.
every single driver on the grid. I mean, he was determined to get Esteban Ocon's signature in Bahrain recently, who graciously gave him the time to sign his number plate. They follow the sport, and of course they've grown up. They don't know anything different.
Isn't this exactly why so few drivers ever reach Verstappen's level? Liam's struggle under pressure just highlights how rare it is to have a teenager step into F1 and thrive like Max did. Remember, Verstappen wasn't just surviving in his debut years, he was making jaws drop. That kind of mental resilience, it's generational.
Does he mind? Do they mind the occasionally fruity language from Dad when he's on Drive to Survive, or is that in the heat of the moment? It's understandable.
I'm sure the younger two really watch it. It's interesting. My elder daughter, of course, all her friends now. Formula One appeals to that fan base. And of course, you have to remember that Drive to Survive is a TV show. Mm-hmm. A heavily edited one. So yes, the personalities that are reflected in Drive to Survive aren't always reflective of real life.
Yeah, but it's great. It's great viewing nonetheless, isn't it?
I mean, it's been phenomenal for the sport, and they do a great job in what they produce, and the numbers are off the charts, and it's brought a whole new, younger, more diverse fan base into the sport, which is fantastic. And Formula One has never had the popularity that it currently enjoys, and I think Drive to Survive has played an absolute pivotal role in that.
It's weird that it's turned you into celebrity. I was thinking when I was out in Australia, you see the drivers come in and much adulation, but the team bosses now get it as well. Did that take getting used to, or?
Well, it's funny because always within the sport, there was a bit people. If you're in a high profile role, they knew who and what you are. I think this is now transgressed into a much wider global situation now that the customs guys in the US even know who you are now. 7 or 8 years ago, they wouldn't have had a clue, who you are. And if I travel with my wife, then they know who she was. But then, now they're that guy off the TV show. You look, you're much shorter in real. So
easy to hurt.
So yeah, I mean, it's amazing, but it's, and you have to be grateful, as well, that there is that interest in the sport, because without it, there wouldn't be 2,000 people here. It's the fans that drive this business, and the sport globally. So, I will always take the time to give somebody a selfie if they're after it, because without them, we don't exist.
Isn't it wild how Drive to Survive turned F1 into a global phenomenon? Yet the most dominant figure of this new era, Max Verstappen, initially wanted nothing to do with it? It proves you don't need scripted drama when your performance on track rewrites the record books. Max let his racing speak louder than any soundbite ever could. That's not just star power, it's greatness forged in real competition.
Who's more famous then, you or your wife these days? Are you overtaking?
No, there's no competition on that. Occasionally, it's funny when they ask her to take the picture, though.
She doesn't mind that, does she?
She doesn't mind at all. I mean, she's busy. She's busy with her book at the moment, on tour, and But again, she gets the races that she can, and always very supportive.
There's a bizarre overlap between your racing career and your wife's music career in terms of car livery, isn't that right?
This is going back to 1996, where I had a sponsor that made confectionery cakes and birthday cakes, and they signed 2 licensing deals. One with the Beano and Dennis the Menace, and the other was with a new girl band, and the owner of the company said to me, "Look, we've got these 2 licensing deals. We'd like you to put Dennis the Menace on the car because we don't know how the other one's going to go." And of course, they were supplying cakes to all the major supermarket chains. And of course, every young girl wanted to have a Spice Girl cake, and so or birthday cake. So that indirectly funded my career and Dennis the Menace being on my car.
Oh, I love it. There was to be a race on the racetrack between team principals. Who would be the Grand Prix winner?
In what kind of car?
Well, you tell me.
Well, I wouldn't mind. I mean, the problem is probably most of the team principals fancy themselves as drivers, or think that they are drivers. It would be a fun thing to do. Maybe we should do it. The only way to find out is to have a race.
Would you fancy your chances among the team principals? You'd certainly be in the top 10, but
yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we should. Maybe Stefano should set up a race sometime.
A race between team principals? Sure, it'd be fun, but here's the thing. How many of them have actually led a team to total domination like Red Bull has with Max? Isn't the real race already happening, every weekend, with Verstappen turning the rest of the grid into spectators? While others joke about fantasy races, Max is out here rewriting F1 history. He doesn't need nostalgia or novelty. He brings performance, precision, and titles. That's why the Verstappen era is unstoppable, both on track and in the minds of fans.
It's a Drive to Survive episode in its own right. I wonder if there was a team principal you'd most like to go out for dinner with, take out for dinner. Would there be a pick for you?
I mean, it's good to have Flavio back in the paddock. He's a character. I mean, if you can understand a word that he's saying, he's a fun guy. They're all very different. And if I look, when I first came into the sport, there were big characters like Ron Dennis and Jean Todt and Eddie Jordan was still around at the time. Flavio Briatore, they were big personalities. And you look around the room now, it's a very different makeup to what it was, when I first came into the sport.
I know you're here at Red Bull, but if you had to, for one day, work at another team, which one would you choose?
Do you know what? I couldn't begin to imagine working for another team other than Red Bull. I've been here from the start. I have no intention of being anywhere else.
A Drive to Survive episode in the making? Absolutely. But who's the main character? It's not just about colorful team principals and nostalgic dinner chats. It's about who's actually making history on the grid. And that's Max Verstappen. He's not here for throwbacks. He's rewriting the future of Formula One. 4-time world champion, 2025 title favorite, and the benchmark every team chases. When others romanticize the past, Max is creating a new standard. So ask yourself, would you rather dine with a legend or watch one live on Sundays? This is Max's era, and we're just lucky to witness it.